welcome to Prudent Media. My name is Sachin Chatte and on this program we take a look at the latest releases. Today we will take a look at A Quiet Place Part 3 and Kalki 2898 AD. At a reported budget tag of 600 crores, Nag Ashwin's Kalki 2898 AD is an extremely ambitious project, alright. You can see the money spent on set design and special effects. But it is also a very derivative film with Mad Max, Star Wars and Dune influence well and truly visible in almost every scene. There is even a training sequence with a lightsaber that appears to be a homage to the George Lucas franchise and a R2-D2-like voiced character named Budge Z1 alias Budgie. But for those unfamiliar with the Western films, Kalki is quite a spectacle and we haven't seen anything like this in Indian cinema before. Then there is the amalgamation of Indian mythology, the Mahabharata to be precise, along with Indian philosophies in a story that is set in a dystopian future 6,000 years after the Battle of Kurukshetra. Like many popular films including the Marvel and DC superheroes if you please, this is a good story of good versus evil. It is also truly a pan-Indian film with Amitabh Bachchan, Prabhas, Kamal Haasan, Deepika Padukone, Disha Patani, Saswat Chatterjee and Pashupati. If that is not enough, there are some cameos as well including S.S. Rajamouli and Ram Gopal Verma. A film that doesn't end conclusively after 3 hours is always going to be a bit of a mess. The Kalki cinematic universe has more to offer, and when sequels are planned in advance, the narrative also suffers a bit because some things are deliberately pushed to the next part. This film opens with the Battle of Kurukshetra, which is in full swing, where Lord Krishna curses Ashwadhama, who looks like an AI-generated Amitabh Bachchan, and Ashwadhama, as we know, is the son of Drona, and he has been cursed with immortality for attempting to kill Uttara's unborn child. All that goes very smoothly. The complexities start taking shape when we fast forward 6,000 years later. The world is a changed place, just like Mad Max and the other mentioned films earlier. There is also some influence of The Children of Men directed by Alfonso Cuarón. The holy city of Kashi is no longer holy and even the river Ganga has completely dried up. But it is still a very happening place. There is something called the complex, which is a place everyone wants to go to. The leader Supreme Yaskin, played by Kamal Haasan, referred to as Supreme, resides there and getting an appointment with him is an uphill task. Even though Supreme is all-powerful and all-knowing, he still needs scientists to develop a serum that will give him a long, healthy life, and this serum comes from fertile women. Saswat Chatterjee plays Commander Manas, who does all the dirty work for Supreme. Deepika Padukone plays Sumati, that's Sum-80, S-U-M-80, and the serum that she has is the most promising one because she is already pregnant. On the other side of Kashi, there is Shambhala, the rebel territory and the antithesis of the complex. They are waiting for their savior to be born, the 10th avatar of Lord Vishnu. There is a bounty hunter, Bhairav, played by Prabhas, who is looking for opportunities and has an eventual showdown with Ashwathama, and Amitabh Bachchan literally and figuratively towers over him. Some portions work and some elicit a big yawn. Disha Patani's character of Roxy, for instance, her existence or lack of it doesn't make any difference to the movie, and there are several such scenes. The filmmakers went for the jugular, but in that process they got too indulgent. A tight, crisp film would have yielded the same or a better result. As one character in the film says, "Excuse me, koi nayi information do, main bore ho rahi hu," and I felt the same way at times. The Hindi dubbed version also has some odd lines like "blow him to hell" and a little kid saying, "Excuse me, क्या आपको पता है ये महाभारत के युद्ध में श्री कृष्ण के साथ लड़े थे?" One of the weaker links in this film is the characters. Except Ashwathama, where Bachchan adds gravitas to his role, none of the others strike a chord, least of all Bhairav, who has the most screen time. Kamal Haasan has just a couple of scenes but a bigger role in the sequel, going by what we have seen here. Special mention should be made of cinematographer Jordi Stojilovic and the production designer Nitin Ziani Chaudhary, along with the VFX team. They have created something spectacular. There is absolutely no two ways about that. Now, only if the writing was as good as the technical department, we would have had a much better film. I'm going to go with 2.5 stars for the new film Kalki 2898 AD. And now let's take a look at A Quiet Place Part 3. After helming the first 2 films, which were quite fantastic, John Krasinski has relinquished his directorial duties of this franchise. He is credited as the writer here in this film, which is directed by Michael Sarnowski. A Quiet Place released in 2018 and it had a certain novelty and it worked like a charm. Krasinski even managed to pull it off in the sequel that came a couple of years later. This idea of an alien invasion where they attack anything and everything that makes a sound except water had the potential to be stretched to maybe one more film, but sadly this is not the one. Even though it is titled Day One, which indicates that the film might be about the origins of the alien attack, it is not. Instead, we get a new character who has to face the same thing as the old characters did, except that this is on day one while the other two films were set several days and months later. Samira aka Sam, played by Lupita Nyong'o, is a cancer patient at a hospice in New York. She's a published poet, but given the situation, her outlook is not great. We are also told in the beginning that the average decibel level in New York is 90, which is that of a scream. Sam's companion is her cat, who remains with her through thick and thin. Along with other patients, they go for an outing to the city and she wants to be treated to a pizza. While they are watching a puppet show, the alien creatures strike, smashing anything and everything that makes a sound. How the humans discover that they should remain quiet to survive is not elaborated upon, but we cut to the chase straight away where Sam has to fight for survival along with her cat. Not even a meow from the feline creature. She bumps across another survivor, Eric, played by Joseph Quinn, and the two of them have to fight against the odds. Jimon Hunsu is seen in a cameo and there should have been more of him. Day One doesn't add anything more to what we already know. Even the thrills are fairly similar to the ones previously seen. Lupita Nyong'o adds credibility to her character, but otherwise there isn't a lot to write home about. Effectively, this film is for cat lovers and I'm going to go with 2.5 out of 5 stars for A Quiet Place Part 3. Well, that's what I thought of the films that were released this week. Do let us know what you think. And I'll be back with you next week with more movie reviews. Till then, it's goodbye from me.